Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and it's day one of our December release. I'll be showing you a little ornament here today. So I'm using the new pine cone die set, which is adorable, the winter banner dies, the stitch circle dies, and the scallop circle dies today. And I cut everything out of white Recollections cardstock using my Gemini, and I'm using Spectrum Noir markers just to add some color to these layers. Now the neat thing is that it's just quick, so you can just run all the dies through together. You could certainly use them with color cardstock or pattern cardstock, whatever you'd like. But I thought I'm going to color in these different layers. I don't use my Spectrum Noir as much because I tend to use my Copics now. So they're just sitting there, so, might as well use them, right? All of these will be, all the numbers will be listed on my blog in case you'd like to do the same. But, you could choose like, go darkest to lightest. The farthest layer back is the darkest, the topmost layer is the lightest, and just color accordingly. So there we go. So I'm just adding, like I said, colored all these different layers. All of the numbers will be listed on my blog. So are you guys ready for Christmas? I know I'm getting there slowly. I make these ornaments for my Christmas table every year, and normally I make them, for when we go to parties, and I add them as favors and stuff like that. Well, since that's not happening this year due to COVID, we're just having a small amount of people here, just the people that live in my house, and my mom is coming for dinner, and because she's alone. So I just have to make a really small number, and I'm adding 2 to one of my friend's kids' gifts too, which I do every year. So a small number. So these are easy to quickly make. Now these are all made with Michael's actually DIY ornaments. They come in 2 plastic halves that I guess snap together so you could put things inside. But I just use, the one ornament, and I break it in half, and I use 1 on each ornament. So basically I'm getting 2 for 1. And especially when you get them 50% off, it's a pretty good deal. So now here I'm adding some color to this pretty little, I don't know if it's a holly branch or what it is. And the nice thing is that when you're adding color to it, you can choose to make everything different colors, which I'm going to. So the leaves are green, the little, the stem or the stick part of it is brown. And then I'll be adding some red to the berries. There we go. So like I said, getting slowly ready for Christmas. Not as busy this year, so, the baking's done. I started wrapping gifts the other day, and that's about it. I'm just sort of making sure I have the food in the house and all that stuff, so hopefully we can get everything all organized and we can enjoy the Christmas season. I'm all decorated anyway, which is a plus. So there we are. Now I'm adding my Nouveau glitter drops, and I'm going to be adding 1 drop. These are White Blizzard, and I'll be adding 1 drop to the end of each berry, just to, give it a little dimension and a little shine, which is perfect for Christmas. So you're going to love this Jaded Blossom release for December. It's beautiful, winter themed, so you can use it for Christmas cards, or you can use it for, thank you cards in January, or just winter birthday cards, whatever you'd like. And I'm using it for ornaments today. So super versatile. A lot of Jaded Blossom dies are great for ornaments. Easily you can whip up a bunch of cute seasonal ornaments. There we go. Yeah, and that's White Blizzard. There we are. So I will slowly be getting everything together to make this ornament now. Now, for some reason, I'm thinking I didn't show you the blending of my backgrounds for these ornaments, but what are you going to do? That's what happens, right? I'm crazy when I'm filming a video. I forget stuff all the time. So there we are. I'm just going to clean up, and then I'll layer all of my little dies together. I'm working on my Stampin' Up pad again, and you'll notice that I use them over and over and over again. So not too much waste. So now I'm pulling up my new Hello Winter stamp set. That's also for today, and I'll be stamping on the back of my ornament with VersaFine Clair black ink. And I'm using my stamp positioner here, just so you can stamp it more than once if you need to. And I think I make a boo-boo and I have to stamp it more than once, which is, generally what goes on in my house. So there we go. So I'm just going to stamp it a couple of times. Yeah, there's the stamp set. I love the font on this. It's beautiful. There we are. So I'm just lining it up in the corner of my stamp set. Oh, there's my VersaFine ink. Oh, you know what it's called? It's called Nocturne. It's not black. There we go. So I'm just inking up my stamp, and I believe I missed a little part, so I've got to ink it up a little bit more, which is why you need a stamp positioner. They're really good. And I'm using that's a dry eraser, and it just allows me to put even pressure. That's a little Jennifer McGuire tip, which is pretty darn handy and works great. So there we are. I'm just adding a little more ink to my little areas that I missed. And then what I do is I cut 2 of those scallop circles, and they're dyed, or they're glued facing each other. So both, so the back and the front are both pretty. So, your ornament looks nice. So now I'm going to glue my pine cones together, the layers, and I'm using my Nuvo glue. And super quick and easy, I just dab it along, run along the edge. Doesn't have to be perfect. And because it's going to be under a plastic dome, it's going to have some shaker sequins in there, It's also hiding behind some green foliage, sorry. And, so it's pretty forgiving. There we go. So there's my pine cone. Aren't they pretty? I just love them. They've got so much dimension. So I'll be putting one large one and one small one in each ornament. And I did this. I just made one for you here. Oh, that's a Spellbinder's tool with a foam mat, which is invaluable when you're getting all the little pieces out of your die cuts, or if they're stuck in your die. They're fabulous. You need to get one of those. So now I am adding all my layers down. And I love these little pine cones. They just look so pretty. So super, super fast and easy, like I said. There we go. Isn't that, they're just so pretty. There we are. And I'm going to add some ground espresso and distress ink, and I'm just going to run it around the edges. And I'm just trying to give it a little bit of dimension, a little bit of shading. There we go. Isn't that pretty? And it makes it super, it's so easy. You can't go wrong making these ornaments. They're just so fast and easy. There we are. So now I'm adding some foam dimensionals from Stampin' Up! To the back of my pine cone, and I'll be laying in all the little greenery. Now you'll notice that I've already blended on my Speckled Egg Distress Oxide ink in the center of my stitch circle die. I'm not sure when I did that. I think I accidentally blended them all on in the beginning, not thinking. But I just blended them on with a blending brush, and that's it. I just, applied some color to the center. It's pretty forgiving. I just wanted a general kind of bluish look for the background. And they do tend to fade back a little bit after they sit for a bit. So they look a little bit lighter than the one that's showing right now that I'm putting together. It takes a while because they do dry back slightly. Some are darker than others, but I think it has a nice look. So there is my branch. I set it off to the side, and it's all my little dots have dried. How pretty is that? And I love how delicate it looks. And it gives it some dimension. If you only glue one end, it kind of pops up a bit on its own and just looks nice. So now I'm going to be adding some dimensionals to the back of the other pine cone. And then I'm popping that up on the big pine cone. There we go. Then I'll add another piece of greenery onto the top of that with a little bit of glue. And then I'm using one of my snowflakes from the winter banner dies. And I've already put a white Nuvo crystal drop that's dried in the center of it. And I'm going to pop that up also on that. And that will cover where the two meet. I tried to put a bow there. It just didn't look right. And, I don't know, the snowflake just kind of looked kind of cute. So I didn't mind that so much. So now I am adding the scallop circle die, and I'm adding glue to it. I put little dots all around the edge too, just to make sure it's well glued. And then I'm going to sandwich it with the one that I've stamped, the sentiment on the back. There we go. Now the sentiment will be on the back, and then the plain white will be facing the front. And then once that's all centered, I'm going to center the circle, which is the decorated ornament part, on the scallop circle. So I'm just going to sort of center it as good as I can. There we go. And I'm just going to add that to the center of my ornament, trying to get it in the direction that I want it to be when it hangs. There we go. So super easy peasy. Like I said, like most of the things I do, not too hard, because, you know, we don't want everything doesn't have to be so hard, right? It can look cute and it doesn't have to be so hard. So these are Cartwright's Moonshine Sequins in 5mm. Now I just chose these because I have a lot of them. You could choose whatever type of filler you'd like. You could put snow in there if you'd like. If you put snow, you might want to use an anti-static tool, because I hate it when it, like, you know, all the static suctions it to the plastic and then you can't see what's going on in your ornament. That's happened to me in the past, so just beware of that. So now I'm adding my Ranger Multi-Medium Matte, and I'm running a bead around the edge of the circle die. Now I chose a circle die that was as close to the size of my ornament as I could get. And now I'll be applying the ornament on top of the Multi-Medium Matte. Now this Ranger glue is really strong. I've made numerous ornaments over the years and they're all fine. None of them have ever come loose after they've dried. They're really, it's a great glue. So now I'm going to be adding some jute. Now this is where you see I make a mistake. Now on all the other ornaments from here on out, I put the jute in first into the hanger. So they all were just the clear plastic bauble without the back and then the jute. And you'll see why here, because of course I make a little mistake. So I'm trying to pull the jute through. I make a mistake and it falls right off and off goes all my sequins. It was a big mess. So I redid it. I put sequins in the center again, put the jute onto the hanger first, added new glue, and then put the ornament in place. There we go. And that's that. So I'm just gonna move my sequins off to the side. Now I also apply another bead of this Ranger Multi-Medium Matte all around the edge of the ornament again. And I will apply a piece of jute running around the whole edge. Now it's for two reasons: to make it a little stronger, and also just to cover up the crack of where the ornament meets the plastic. It just makes it look a little bit more finished, I think. And you know, it's super easy to do. You just sort of run it along, trim it off. There we go. And I'm going to use my pen blade. I was using a skewer earlier, but of course my desk is a mess and I can't find it. So I'm just going to use my X-Acto knife there, and I'll just make sure that the jute is tight to the ornament. There we go. So you're going to want to run and get this whole release, I think. It's adorable. So pretty. I love the sentiment. I love the sentiments in that Hello Winter. It's beautiful font. It's all just so pretty. I think you'll use it so much. There we go. So now I'm going to make a bow with the same jute. And I'm just using my Bow Easy, and I'll make a double bow. And then I will use hot glue actually to attach it to my ornament. Now you won't see me use the hot glue gun because it doesn't reach where I'm filming. So I'll just get up and I'll put a little dab on my bow, and then I'll add it to my ornament. And that will hide where the where the jute meets or doesn't kind of meet by the hanger. See, there's a little gap there, and it will hide that little faux pas there, and it'll look so pretty. At least that's what I think. I like adding the little bows in there. There we go. And I like having a bit of a shaker element to these ornaments. There we are. I just added some hot glue to my bow. And we're all done. So thank you so much for stopping by today. Come back tomorrow for some more inspiration. Make sure to check out the Jaded Blossom blog and see how you can get this whole release now and see all the inspiration from the design team. Thank you so much for stopping by. See you soon. Bye, everyone.